In a hidden lab on Earth, a team of brilliant scientists worked tirelessly. Among them was Dr. Sarah Klein, a passionate astrophysicist with bright eyes and wild hair. She led the team with enthusiasm and a dream, to find new sources of energy to help humanity. For years, they struggled with their project, hoping to tap into something incredible. Little did they know, they were on the verge of a discovery that would change everything. The lab was filled with machines that hummed and buzzed. Papers were scattered everywhere, covered in complex equations and drawings of strange worlds. The scientists had been exploring theories about parallel universes, alternate realities that existed alongside their own. Most people thought this idea was just science fiction, but Sarah believed it could be real. She often said, if we can just find a way to access these universes, we could unlock limitless energy. One rainy afternoon, as the team reviewed data from their latest experiments, a breakthrough occurred. They had been testing a new device designed to scan the fabric of reality. As Sarah adjusted the controls, the screen flickered to life, showing a vibrant image of a parallel universe. It was like looking through a window into another world. The colors were brighter and the landscapes were different, but one thing stood out. An incredible energy source was pulsating in this alternate dimension. "Look at that!" shouted Ethan, one of the junior scientists. His eyes widened as he pointed at the screen. "That energy wave, it's massive! We can harvest that!" The room erupted in excitement. The team quickly gathered around the monitor, their hearts racing with possibilities. They ran simulations and calculations, confirming that they could create a device to extract energy from this parallel universe. It was a revolutionary moment. The scientists cheered, embracing one another with joy. They knew they had discovered something monumental. Word of their discovery spread quickly. The team decided to go public with their findings, believing it could help solve Earth's energy crisis. They prepared a presentation for the world, showcasing the potential of their technology. But they were also aware of the risks. The Galactic Council, a powerful body of alien species that governed many star systems, might take notice. They had heard stories about the Council, which was both respected and feared throughout the galaxy. As the day of the presentation approached, Sarah felt a mix of excitement and nerves. They knew their discovery could bring attention from powerful beings, and not all of them would have peaceful intentions. She gathered her team and said, "We need to be ready for anything. This could change the future of our planet." On the day of the announcement, they broadcast their presentation to the world. Millions of people tuned in, eager to hear about the groundbreaking news. Sarah stood in front of the camera, her voice steady but filled with passion. "Today, we stand on the brink of a new era. We have discovered a way to harvest energy from parallel universes. This could provide limitless power for our planet and beyond." As she spoke, the screen displayed stunning visuals of the alternate universe, showing the vibrant energy source. The audience watched in awe, many unable to comprehend the magnitude of what they were witnessing. The scientists concluded their presentation with a call for unity, urging the world to embrace this new possibility. However, unbeknownst to them, the Galactic Council was already watching. In their grand chamber filled with alien leaders from various planets, whispers of concern rippled through the ranks. Counselor Xylar, a tall being with shimmering skin and piercing eyes, turned to his peers. "Humans have discovered a way to tap into forces we have never seen before. This poses a threat and an opportunity. We must act quickly." The council debated how to respond. Some members argued for cooperation, believing humanity could be an ally. Others, however, were cautious, fearing the potential chaos this discovery could unleash. As tensions rose, the fate of humanity hung in the balance, and the Council's decision would soon unfold. The story of humanity's amazing discovery was just beginning. What would happen next would determine not only their future, but the future of the entire galaxy. Excitement buzzed through the lab like electricity. After the announcement of their groundbreaking discovery, Dr. Sarah Klein and her team were ready for the next big step, the first energy harvest from a parallel universe. They had spent weeks preparing for this moment, running tests, and ensuring their technology was ready for the challenge. It was a chance to show the world that their dreams could become reality. The lab was abuzz with activity as the team gathered around the new energy harvesting device, a complex machine filled with wires and blinking lights. It stood tall in the center of the room, resembling a massive futuristic sculpture. Sarah took a deep breath, her heart pounding with anticipation. "Today we make history," she declared, her voice steady and confident. Ethan, the enthusiastic junior scientist, was in charge of monitoring the energy readings. He sat at a control panel filled with buttons and screens. "I'm ready when you are, Sarah," he said, a wide grin on his face. The other team members looked at each other, their eyes sparkling with excitement and a hint of nervousness. As Sarah pressed the start button, the machine whirred to life, emitting a low hum. The screen flickered, showing the swirling colors of the parallel universe. The room grew quiet, and all eyes were glued to the monitor. "We're entering the energy field now," Sarah announced. "Hold on tight!" The machine began to pull energy from the alternate reality, and the readings on Ethan's panel soared. Bright lights filled the lab, casting shadows on the walls. "It's working! We're pulling energy!" he shouted, unable to contain his excitement. The energy level skyrocketed, and the team erupted into cheers. But as they celebrated, a sudden alarm rang out. The screen flashed red, indicating an overload. "Wait, something's wrong!" Ethan yelled, panic in his voice. Sarah quickly rushed to his side, scanning the readings. The energy influx was much stronger than they had anticipated, pushing their device to its limits. "Shut it down! We need to cut off the energy flow," Sarah ordered. Her voice was calm, but her heart raced. Ethan's fingers flew over the controls, trying to disengage the machine. Just as he pressed the button, the lights dimmed, and a massive burst of energy surged through the lab. The room shook as the energy released, creating a shockwave that sent papers flying and knocked over equipment. But when the dust settled, the team realized something incredible had happened. They had successfully harvested energy from a parallel universe, and the device remained intact. Breathless with disbelief, Sarah and her team gathered around the energy output. A glowing orb pulsed in the center of the machine, radiating a warm, golden light. "We did it! We really did it!" Sarah exclaimed, her voice filled with joy. They had created a new energy source that could change everything. As news of their success spread, excitement gripped the world. Sarah and her team received praise from every corner of the globe. People flooded social media, sharing their thoughts and hopes for a brighter future. The scientists were invited to conferences and interviews, becoming instant celebrities. But with this fame came attention from the Galactic Council. The Council watched the humans' progress with keen interest. In their vast chamber, alien leaders exchanged worried glances. Counselor Xylar, who had previously voiced his concerns, now felt the weight of his responsibility. "We cannot allow this technology to fall into the wrong hands. Humans must be monitored closely," he stated, his voice echoing through the room. Back on Earth, Sarah and her team were busy preparing for a live demonstration to showcase their new energy source. They wanted to prove that this technology could help not only humanity, but also the entire galaxy. Sarah stood before her team, her expression serious. "This is our chance to show the Council and the world that we can be responsible with this power. We need to think carefully about how we present our findings." As the day of the demonstration approached, the team worked tirelessly to ensure everything was perfect. They practiced their presentation, rehearsing every detail. Sarah felt the pressure mounting, but she remained determined. This was not just about them, it was about the future of humanity. On the day of the demonstration, the lab was filled with scientists, journalists, and curious onlookers. Sarah stepped up to the microphone, her heart racing. "Welcome, everyone. Today, we will show you the power of energy harvested from parallel universes. Together, we can create a brighter future." With that, the stage was set for a moment that would define humanity's place in the galaxy. Would they impress the Galactic Council, or would the aliens see them as a threat? Only time would tell, but Sarah knew one thing for sure. They had just taken the first step into a new era. The news of humanity's successful energy harvest spread like wildfire through the galaxy. Every planet and star system buzzed with excitement and fear about what this meant for the future. Meanwhile, the Galactic Council held an urgent meeting in their grand chamber, a massive hall filled with representatives from countless alien species. Each species had its own unique appearance and abilities, but they all shared a common goal, maintaining peace and order in the galaxy. Counselor Xylar stood at the head of the table, his shimmering skin reflecting the light above. "We must discuss the implications of this discovery," he said, his voice commanding attention. The room fell silent with all eyes on him. "Humans have unlocked a power that could change everything. We need to decide how to handle this situation." As the discussion began, the council quickly divided into two opposing groups. The first group, led by Xylar, believed humanity could be a valuable ally. "We should offer our support," he urged. "With guidance, humans can use this technology for good. Imagine the advancements we could achieve together." In contrast, Counselor Thalor, a tall and intimidating figure with sharp features, stood up. "This is dangerous! Humans are unpredictable. They could use this power to dominate us. We must act now to control their technology before it's too late." His voice echoed through the chamber, igniting heated debates among the council members. "I agree with Thalor," said Counselor Venka, a being with translucent skin and flowing tendrils. "We have seen what happens when a species becomes too powerful too quickly. We cannot risk letting humans run wild with their new abilities." As the arguments intensified, Xylar tried to maintain order. "We cannot forget that they have shown great promise. Their recent demonstration proved they can be responsible. We should reach out to them, not threaten them." "Reach out?" Thalor scoffed. "What if they refuse? What if they become hostile? We need a plan to monitor their activities closely." "They should not be trusted." The debate raged on, with voices rising and tempers flaring. Some council members sided with Xylar, arguing for cooperation, while others supported Thalor's stance of caution and control. Each side presented valid points, but the disagreement only deepened the divide within the council. Meanwhile, on Earth, Sarah and her team watched the news closely. They had received reports of the council's discussions, and it filled them with both hope and fear. "What if they decide to take action against us?" Ethan asked, his face pale with concern. "We've only just begun to explore this technology." Sarah shook her head, trying to remain optimistic. "We need to show them that we can be trusted. We have to continue our work and prepare for the next demonstration. It's the best way to prove our intentions." The team nodded, sharing her determination, but doubts lingered in the back of their minds. Back in the council chamber, a vote was called. The council members cast their votes, and the results were tallied. The outcome was close, reflecting the deep divisions within the council. "The majority has decided," Xylar announced, his expression serious. "We will send a delegation to Earth to engage with the humans and discuss our concerns. But we will also send observers to monitor their activities closely." Cheers and groans filled the chamber as council members reacted to the decision. Thalor was visibly displeased, but Xylar maintained a hopeful expression. "This is our chance to build a bridge, to create a partnership with humanity." The council members agreed to form a team that would travel to Earth. This team would consist of representatives from both sides of the debate, those who wanted to support humanity and those who wanted to keep a watchful eye on them. This compromise did little to ease tensions as the council prepared for what would be a historic meeting. Back on Earth, Sarah and her team began preparing for the delegation's arrival. They understood the importance of this visit and wanted to make a great impression. "We need to show them that we are not a threat," Sarah reminded her team. "We can be partners in this journey." As the day approached, a mix of excitement and anxiety filled the air. Would the council members see the potential in humanity, or would they continue to view them as a risk? The fate of their relationship with the Galactic Council hung in the balance, and everyone knew that this meeting would be crucial. In the end, Sarah and her team were determined to show that humanity had much to offer, and they would fight to prove that they could be trusted with the power they had discovered. The future of their world, and potentially the galaxy, depended on it. The day of the delegation's arrival on Earth was filled with anticipation. Dr. Sarah Klein and her team prepared tirelessly to welcome the alien representatives from the Galactic Council. Their lab, once a small space filled with equipment, now felt like a battleground of ideas and hopes. Sarah stood at the front, feeling a mix of excitement and fear. As the delegates arrived, the atmosphere changed. The council members stepped out of their sleek spacecraft, their appearances as varied as their home planets. Among them was Counselor Xylar, who had argued for cooperation, and Counselor Thalor, who was known for his stern and cautious approach. Sarah could see the tension between them as they entered the lab. "Welcome to Earth!" Sarah greeted them warmly. "We are excited to show you what we have achieved." She led them through the lab, explaining their energy harvesting technology and the potential it had to help not just Earth, but the entire galaxy. The team demonstrated the glowing orb of energy they had harvested, showcasing its power and stability. Xylar smiled, his eyes bright with hope. This is remarkable. With this technology, you could bring light and energy to many worlds in need. He turned to Thalor, trying to convince him. Humans can be allies in this. We must work together. But Thalor's expression remained grim. We cannot ignore the dangers, Xylar. What if they misuse this power? What if they become a threat to the galaxy? His voice was low but firm, and the other council members shifted uneasily. The divide between the two factions of the council was clear, and it created a heavy atmosphere in the room. After the demonstration, the council members convened privately, leaving Sarah and her team in suspense. Hours passed, filled with uncertainty. What decision would they reach? Sarah paced the lab, her mind racing with possibilities. They can't take our technology away, she said to Ethan, who stood nearby, watching her nervously. We have to prove we can use it responsibly. Finally, the council members returned, their expressions serious. Councillor Xylar stepped forward, his voice echoing in the room. We have reached a decision, he announced, looking at Sarah and her team. We see the potential of your discovery. However, there are concerns we cannot ignore. Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. What do you mean? She asked, her heart racing. We cannot allow humanity to harvest energy from parallel universes without strict guidelines. We are issuing an ultimatum, Xylar continued, his gaze steady. You must cease all energy harvesting immediately until we establish a proper framework for its use. If you refuse, we will be forced to intervene. Shockwaves ran through the room. Sarah's heart sank as the weight of the ultimatum settled in. But we've worked so hard, she protested, desperation creeping into her voice. This technology could save lives and provide energy for everyone. Thalor stepped forward, his expression unyielding. And that is precisely why we must be cautious. We cannot risk chaos in the galaxy because of one reckless decision. We believe it is in the best interest of everyone. The room filled with tension as the team exchanged worried glances. Sarah took a deep breath, trying to gather her thoughts. We understand your concerns, but we can work together to create a plan. We want to be partners, not enemies. Xylar looked torn, glancing at Thalor before replying. We will consider your proposal, but until then, the harvesting must stop. This is a precautionary measure. We will return in 1 month to reassess the situation. With that, the council members turned to leave. Sarah felt a mix of anger and fear. This isn't fair, she shouted, but the door closed behind them, leaving her and her team in stunned silence. As they processed the ultimatum, uncertainty filled the air. What do we do now? Ethan asked, his voice trembling. Sarah's mind raced with possibilities. We need to show them we can be responsible, she said, her voice firm despite the fear that gripped her. We'll gather data and create a comprehensive plan to demonstrate our intentions. We can't let fear stop us from doing what's right. The team nodded, their determination rekindled. They had to act quickly and prove to the Galactic Council that humanity was capable of handling the power they had discovered. The battle for their future had just begun, and they were ready to fight for their place in the galaxy. The countdown was on. Only a month remained until the Galactic Council would return to Earth for the crucial meeting. Dr. Sarah Klein and her team worked tirelessly to prepare a solid plan to prove they could responsibly manage the energy harvested from parallel universes. The stakes had never been higher, and failure was not an option. In the days leading up to the meeting, Sarah focused on gathering data. The team collected energy readings, analyzed the harvested power, and prepared demonstrations to showcase their technology's safety. They wanted to prove to the Council that they were not a threat, but rather pioneers in a new era of energy use. The lab buzzed with energy as they set up for the final presentation. Bright screens displayed graphs and images, and the glowing orb of energy pulsed softly in the center of the room. This is our chance to change their minds, Sarah said to her team, her voice steady. We need to show them we are responsible, that we can be allies. As the day of the meeting arrived, tension filled the air. The Council's spacecraft landed outside the lab, and the team gathered to welcome their visitors. Sarah felt a mixture of excitement and anxiety as she led the Council members into the lab once again. Welcome back, she said, trying to sound confident. Today, we have a presentation that demonstrates our commitment to safety and responsibility. Xylar smiled, clearly eager to see the progress they had made. But Thalor's expression was as stern as ever. We hope you have taken our ultimatum seriously, he said, his tone cold. We will not tolerate any reckless actions. Sarah nodded, her heart pounding. We have worked hard to ensure that we can manage this energy safely. Let me show you what we've done. The presentation began with Sarah and her team walking the council through their findings. They showcased their data, explained their safety measures, and highlighted how the energy could be used to help other planets. The room filled with excitement as they explained their vision of a brighter future for all species in the galaxy. Just as the presentation reached its peak, a sudden alarm echoed through the lab. Everyone turned to the screens as a red alert flashed across them. "What's happening?" Sarah shouted, panic rising in her voice. Ethan quickly rushed to his control panel, frantically typing commands. "It looks like there's a breach in our energy system," he reported, his face pale with fear. "Something is pulling energy from the orb." The council members exchanged alarmed glances, and Thalor stepped forward. "This is exactly what we feared." "You cannot control this power!" "Wait!" Sarah called out, her mind racing. "We can fix this." She and her team quickly moved to stabilize the energy output, but the situation escalated. The orb began to pulse erratically, sending bright flashes of light around the room. Then, without warning, the energy burst forth in a dazzling display of color, creating a massive wave of power that surged through the lab. Sarah felt the force knock her back, and chaos erupted as equipment flew everywhere. "Shut it down! We need to stop it!" Sarah yelled, struggling to regain her footing. Ethan worked frantically at the control panel, sweat dripping down his forehead. Thalor shouted, "This is a disaster! We cannot let this continue." He moved toward the exit, but Xylar remained, watching the chaos unfold. "We must give them a chance," he said, his voice calm. "If they can contain this, they can prove their worth." With one last effort, Ethan managed to stabilize the orb, gradually bringing the energy back under control. The room fell silent, the vibrant colors fading into a soft glow. Sarah, panting and shaken, looked up to see the council members staring in disbelief. "Did you see that?" Sarah asked breathlessly. "We contained it. We can manage this power." Xylar turned to Thalor, his expression thoughtful. "Perhaps there is still hope for humanity. They have shown resilience in the face of danger." Thalor hesitated, his gaze shifting between the stabilized energy orb and the determined faces of Sarah and her team. "This was too close," he said finally, his voice filled with reluctance. "But perhaps there is a way to move forward." As the tension in the room eased, Sarah seized the opportunity. "We can work with you, develop guidelines together. We want to be partners, not enemies. Let us prove that we can handle this responsibly." Xylar nodded, a smile breaking through his serious demeanor. "Then we will negotiate, but know this. The council will watch you closely. Your actions will determine our future together." As the council members exchanged glances, Sarah felt a rush of hope. The epic showdown had transformed into a new beginning. They had faced challenges, and now they had a chance to show that humanity could be a responsible partner in the galaxy. Together, they would write a new chapter, one filled with promise and collaboration, as they stepped into the future hand in hand.